Good evening. That little round was to congratulate you all for taking full responsibility for your decision to attend this preview. My name is Viv. I'm a trainer. This is Carmen, and this is Alec. We welcome you to the preview and are here to answer all your questions on the forthcoming Avatar Weekend seminar. But before we get into talking about the seminar, have any of you ever experienced that icky feeling when you talk to someone? You know, you don't get a response? Yeah? Well, I'm going to ask some of you to say a few words on how you came to hear of Avatar, and I'd like the rest of you to acknowledge that person by applauding them when they finish speaking. Okay? Okay, great. Ted.
I'm Edward Wardle, and someone at work had done it.
Terrific, Ted. Anything else?
No.
Ted, that was terrific. Thank you. Everybody? Let me ask you, Ted, how did it feel to get that response?
Well, it was very nice.
Fabulous, Ted. Thank you. Okay, who's next? Kitty?
Hi, I'm Kitty Mandel. I don't have a complex about my age. I'm over 17 and I don't care who knows it. My husband divorced me after he did the seminar, so I'm halfway to paradise. So really...
Kitty, that was fabulous. Thank you. Now, before we go on, do you get what a great atmosphere we've got going here? No awkwardness? Alec?
Terrific.
Carmen?
Great.
Great. Okay, who's next? Morris?
Oh, thank you. I'm Maurice Ann Holt, and my dear wife Jean here has done the seminar, and I can't tell you the change in her. She's much happier, gets so much done about the house, you know, washing up, that sort of thing.
Morris, that was terrific. Thank you. Okay. Phil?
Phil Strickland, export consultant. May I ask you a question?
Certainly, Phil.
Is all this bloody applause necessary?
Did you have a particular reason for asking that question, Phil?
Yeah, because I got an icky feeling caused by all this phony jocularity, and it's making me nauseous.
Well, maybe that's your problem.
Phil, can I ask, how did you come to hear of the seminar?
My secretary did it, and she had a nervous breakdown 2 days later. She was 6 weeks in hospital, and when she got out, she quit and came to work for you lot.
What was your secretary's name, Phil?
Cynthia Newton.
Cindy.
Cindy no longer works for our organization. In fact, we've no idea where she is now.
Phil, did you know that Cindy had suffered breakdowns on 2 previous occasions before ever doing the seminar? When you enroll for the seminar, you'll be asked if you've ever been hospitalized for psychiatric treatment or whether you're currently in therapy. We contact your therapist, and if he recommends that you do not enroll, we abide by his decision. Cindy chose not to reveal her medical history. Thank you, Phil. Now, perhaps would be a good time for all those graduates who have not had a nervous breakdown and who are present here tonight to share their experience of the seminar with us, and then we'll answer some of your questions. Okay? Okay. Alec.
Well, I always used to think of myself as a rather dour and humorless person.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure.
And I was right. And I'm confronting that now, and I'm a much better person. I've been with Avatar now for 8 months, and, well, I'm doing things I never dreamed possible. I work for the organization.
How much do you get paid?
Phil, we have a procedure going here. If you want to ask a question, would you put up your hand? I'll call out your name. Okay?
Okie
Thank you.
dokie.
No, I'm sorry, Phil. Not until Alec has finished speaking.
Oh, I finished.
Good. How much do you get paid?
Phil, would you put up your hand? Okay, great.
So?
Well, I work for the organization in my spare time. Voluntarily.
Funny you should say that. So did my ex-secretary.
Phil, Avatar has a nuclear staff who are fully paid. Myself, for one, I'm its administrator. That we are assisted in our ever-increasing workload by graduates such as Carmen and Alec, out of the kindness of their hearts, only goes to indicate their faith in the validity of Avatar. Thank you, Phil. Carmen?
I'm just having a great time. Look it, I used to get really homesick before I did it. I'm from Alberta. You heard of that? Well, it's in Canada. Anyway, when I was here, I'd want to go home. So I did. And then I'd want to come back. So I would. But when I was here, I'd miss so much there. You know, barbecued moose, my boyfriend, skiing down the bugaboos. Now I'm having a great time. I'm doing really well. I'm confronting this, and I'm just having a great time.
Well, now you've all got some idea of what goes on in the seminar. Now we'd like you to ask any questions you like. Okay? Trish.
What's avatar? What does it mean?
It's a Hindu word, metamorphosis. Melanie?
So what is it, some kind of psychotherapy?
Good question, Melanie. Alec, perhaps you'd like to answer that one.
Sure thing. We prefer to think of Avatar as something more unique than that. Certainly, Maximillian Schreiber, our founder, studied in consultation with psychiatrists at the University of Los Angeles. But he also traveled to India and China, working with mystics and gurus there, taking the best of what his colleagues could offer and disregarding what was inappropriate.
Yes. But what happens at the seminar?
Well, because of the nature of the seminar, we can't disclose that. Thank you, Melanie.
Great. You mean to say you spend half the
Phil!
night... Anybody content to part with their money and not be told what happens here?
Don?
Well, yes, it does seem that we ought to know a little more of what is involved, Viv.
Perhaps I can help. Phil, do you know what an onion is?
An onion?
How it's made?
It isn't made, it grows.
Exactly. It grows. Now, how does it grow? How is it formed? Yes, Ginny?
It's got layers.
Terrific, Ginny! Right on. We'll peel off all the layers and make you nothing. Once you're nothing, you're on the path to somethingness.
Phil, may I ask, are you here because you genuinely want to do the seminar?
No, you may not ask.
I don't think you are.
Well, maybe that's your problem, Viv.
Yes, Malcolm?
How much does it cost?
Thank you, Malcolm. We'll have to hand you over to our accounts department for that one. Alec?
Sure thing. The seminar lasts 3 days, Friday to Sunday, with a briefing evening on Thursday. Each day lasts from 9 o'clock in the morning until midnight, and the total cost is £182.35p, including VAT.
Yes, Phil?
Your founder, Maximillian Schreiber. Do we pronounce it Maximilian or makes a million?
It's a small sum of money to turn your life around full circle, Phil. Let me ask you, do you hate yourself so much you value your life less than 182 pounds? Thank you, Phil.
Ah, hello, Mr. Brack. It's Garforth. I phoned up Forth. TH. That's right. Well, I've got a little something might be of interest. It's an organization where people pay 180 quid to be locked in a room for 3 days, and they don't get anything for it as far as I can see. Oh, it's a rip-off. I want to do a hatchet job. No, no, I can't just write it up. I have to do the course, and it costs... That's right, including VAT. Well, listen, I spent last night with 3 mindless robots, trainers, they call themselves, who claim in the space of 3 days to have found the answer to eternity. Yes, I know Darwin took a bit longer, but listen, over 2,000 people have paid through the nose for it. I mean, you know the types. I'm dull and boring, or I'm lonely since my wife ran off with an insecticide manufacturer. Yes, certainly. 2 o'clock, I'll be there. He's taking me to lunch.
Lunch?
Well, Plowman's.
I see you've lost Phil.
Yes, well, it was all on the cards.
you standing like that?
Oh, all part of the technique, I expect.
Well, I find it very eerie.
Shut up! Is anybody sitting next to someone they knew prior to the seminar? It is now 9:05 a.m. You have been in the seminar room for precisely 2 minutes, and already you have broken the house rules as laid out at your briefing last night. Shut up, bitch! I will now outline the house rules. 1. No trainee shall talk to another trainee in the seminar room at any time. 2. No trainee shall speak to a trainer in the seminar room at any time. 3. No trainee may speak at all unless he raises his hand and is summoned by the oracle. He will stand and speak only to the oracle. He will not resume his seat until the oracle has dismissed him. 4. This seminar is now in session. It will last for 15 hours. Shut up! There will be a 1-hour dinner break. 5. There will be no smoking in the seminar room. No alcohol or artificial stimulants may be taken at any time over the next 3 days. 6. All timepieces and watches will be lodged with the trainers. 7. There will be no note-taking unless specified by the oracle. 8. No trainee may leave the seminar room for any reason whatever. 9. If a trainee feels the need to vomit, you will raise your hand and a sick bag will be brought to you by a trainer. You will remain seated and vomit into the bag. The bag will then be disposed of by a trainer. At your briefing, you signed an agreement to keep the house rules. You have now learned to keep agreements. Congratulations.
Face front, bitch!
Who the bloody
Shut
hell
up!
do you think?
You are an asshole! The agreements have just been read out to you and still you are breaking them. Your assholeness will not be tolerated. Stand up.
Look, if you want to
Shut
talk...
up! Stand up. My name is Max Schreiber. I am your oracle and you are 20 assholes. I am your oracle because my life works. You are assholes because your lives don't work. You are here because your lives don't work. Stand up! Haven't finished with you yet. You're thinking it's pretty stupid keeping agreements, right?
Right.
I get that. Do you get that you're an asshole?
As you provided us with name tags and insist on calling us assholes, I can only surmise that you haven't yet learned to read.
Then you're a cute asshole. Do you get that?
I'm not acquainted with your term of reference. Is it a medical
An
expression?
asshole is a waste disposal unit dumping garbage and excreta. That is its sole purpose. You are an asshole.
Well, I am delighted to make your acquaintance. On what do you base your most interesting hypothesis?
Why did you enroll in this seminar?
Well, it intrigued me.
What, you paid £180 to be locked in a hotel room for 3 days because you were intrigued? Only an asshole would do that. Perhaps it was more than just curiosity.
May I sit down?
No! Do all the other assholes get that? The moment I suggest that perhaps Kitty enrolled for a more serious purpose, she asks to sit down. You see, Kitty, it's really quite simple. You break agreements every day because you refuse to accept responsibility for the screw-up you call your life. The next 8 hours are going to be spent teaching you assholes not to break agreements before the seminar can even begin. And you know what? You'll still break them. An asshole is a person that cannot keep agreements. That's why your lives are screwed up, and that's why you're going to pay me nearly £200 to call you assholes. Crazy, right? Thank you, asshole. Congratulations. Melanie. Stand up! You may speak.
Look, I understand the need to keep agreements here and that they correspond with agreements in our daily lives, but why do you need to shout and use such derogatory phraseology? It just seems gratuitous.
Stand up! Shut up!
Not just now, thank you.
Very well, go to the back of the room, hand your name tag in, and leave. Stay standing, Melanie. I haven't finished with you.
Do I get my money back?
Of course not.
Well, I don't think you do very well in court on that score. You throw me out and refuse to refund my money.
You all signed one overriding agreement. Can anyone remember what it was? Anyone? Great. Oh, Ted. Yes, Ted.
We undertake...
Speak up, Ted. Can't hear you.
We undertake to do all that is required of us for the duration of the seminar.
Very good, Ted. Thank you. Oh, everybody. Doing all that is required means keeping agreements. Malcolm has chosen not to. Malcolm has chosen to accept responsibility for breaking agreements. So who's throwing who out of the seminar, Malk?
Oh, what happens if I stand up?
You remake your agreement. Do you admit that you broke an agreement?
If you say
Not if I say so! How long are you assholes going to keep putting the blame on everyone else for the decisions you alone make? You are responsible for your lives and decisions, not God, not the milkman, not your Jewish mama who locked you in the coal cellar for playing with your doodah on bath night. You irresponsible robots are responsible. You and you alone. Do you get that? Are you willing to remake your agreement?
Very well, then. Yes.
Good. Thank you, Malcolm. Congratulations. Come on, everybody. Okay, Melanie?
Well, yes. But as Kitty said earlier, you've given us name tags. Why refer to us as arseholes? I think you're just trying to create an effect.
What? You don't like me calling you asshole? I'll call you Superman. What do you get? Life any better? Turn around 180 degrees? Are you enlightened? Have you got all you wanted from the seminar?
Well, of course not.
Of course not. Nothing's changed. I can call you Superman till the day you die, Melanie, and you know what?
What?
You'll still be an asshole. Thank you, Melanie. Yes, yes.
Look, I'm getting really pissed off. I didn't spend my money to talk about the use of the word arsehole. What do you want us to do?
Well, Chaz, the trick is not to resist being an asshole. Experience your assholeness. Acknowledge it. And guess what happens? Ginny!
We're no longer assholes.
Right! Thank you very much, Ginny! During the next weekend, you're all going to experience every negative emotion you've spent your whole lives running away from. Fear, anger, nausea, vomiting. You're all going to find ways of resisting your real feelings. You'll faint, throw up, fall asleep, anything to avoid those unpleasant feelings you've submerged for years. Thank you, chaps. Come on.
I'm sorry, but I agree with Melanie. I really find it very offensive. I'm not prudish, but being religious, I
Oh,
find
you're
that
religious, are you, Don? You believe in God?
Well, yes.
You experience God?
Sorry?
Perfectly simple question, Don. Have you experienced God?
You mean, have I seen him?
Her? She's a she.
How do you know that?
Well, about as surely as you know he's a he. Well, have you experienced her? Shaken her by the hand? Met her? Taken her to Harrod's winter sale?
I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me angry, to attack my beliefs.
Exactly, Don. Attack your beliefs. Tell me, Don, do you believe in the tie you're wearing?
What?
Do you believe in my blazer, Kitty Chanel number 5, Ginny's bangle?
Well, of course I don't believe in them as such. They're just here.
So what do you do with them now they're here?
I don't follow you.
You experience them. Get it, asshole?
Well, yes, but
You're all stuck in your beliefs. The world is full of beliefs, and the world does not work. Don believes in God. Kitty believes in the analyst she's visited unsuccessfully for the last 14 years. Malcolm believes I'm the biggest charlatan since Nostradamus.
I'm sorry, Max, but you have to have beliefs. Otherwise... Otherwise, we're no better than the animals. Belief in God means that you have something to...
Let me tell you about God, Don. One eternity, God was sitting in her bubble bath, shaving her legs, and she felt kind of lonely, so she created this guy, Adam, to keep her a bit of company. Well, conversation ran out rather quickly, because God's a pretty fickle girl. So next time, she created a girlfriend. Lots more to talk about. Hairdos, economy, washing powders. Of course, all this happened a long, long time ago, Don. Now, she's got so many of you to keep her eye on, she's kept pretty busy. Rarely puts in a public appearance. But you go on believing in her, Don. Put your life in her hands, join the queue, and see if she cares.
I get the impression that whatever we say here, we lose.
Once you realize that, you start to win. Thank you, Don. Yes, Trish.
Look, I've been sitting here for I don't know how long because you've confiscated my wristwatch. We've been bullied and insulted and intimidated by your Gestapo tactics and heard your silly little theories lifted out of Teach Yourself Psychology, and I've taken it. But I'm not going to sit here and listen to you insult women with your sexist view of God Almighty.
Beautiful, Trish, a feminist. No seminar complete without one. You know what you are, don't you, Trish?
Yeah, an asshole. That's all you ever seem to say.
You're an asshole ass. The inferior female gender. You see, Trish, all women, especially liberated women, are second-class citizens in male society.
I'm leaving.
Hand your name tag in, dear. Go on, Trish. I give you permission to remain an asshole ass. So you can go on blaming the vote, job differentiation, Burt Reynolds, the Stockton Building Society, anything to avoid the onus of responsibility.
Bastard!
Or you can
Bastard!
stay behind and find out who's really responsible, who really made you a second-class citizen. You see, what this seminar's all about is really very, very simple. Once you realize that you ain't got it, you got it. Or, to put it in another way, Ginny!
I think I've got it. I think I've got it.
Go on, Ginny!
I wish to share that I fully acknowledge that I am an asshole.
Terrific! Thank you, Ginny! Very good! Yes, Anne?
Could I... Oh, the sick bag, please.
And I love this woman at my bank. Oh, I'm devoted to my wife and children, but I love her. Although I know she's only using our affair to further her own career. I just feel trapped.
Are you able to locate what it is you want from the seminar?
Yes, I am.
Good. Then by Sunday, you'll succeed. Thank you, Don. Okay, Kitty.
God.
Shut up!
Now what have I done?
Don't break agreements, get it? Do you get that?
Will you please stop
Do
shouting?
you get
Yes,
that?
yes, I do.
Good. Why did you enroll in the seminar?
Curiosity.
Kitty, there must be something very deep about you that makes you so shallow.
All right. Well, I suppose I'm oversexed.
Well, that's a problem.
Well, it always has been in the past. I kept meeting these lonely guys who wanted a wife. I'd end up in their beds when they discovered I was one.
Okay. What about now that you're single?
I keep meeting husbands.
Cut the wisecracks, bitch!
Now look, will you stop shouting at me? I won't have you shouting at me. You're a bloody bully and ignoramus.
Who
Don't
shouted,
shout.
Kitty?
What?
Who shouted first? Originally.
It's happening again. I can hear a chair being thrown against the door. A slap. A clatter like glass being broken. I run down the stairs and I open the door. They're locked together. My mother's nose is bloodied and she's crying. My father keeps hitting her. She's clinging to him so that he can't gain any impetus. I always remember that. I stand watching. I'm petrified. He sees me. Get out, you bloody little cow! You're the cause of all this! I keep yelling, Mummy, Mummy! Ah, ah! She's crying so much she can't hear. There near the fire, he puts his hand into the fire and pulls out a lump of burning coal and throws it at me. Ah! 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 Go back to bed, you bloody little brat. I run up the stairs. I hear him cursing. I can't go on anymore.
Okay, Kitty, that was good. Later I'll be talking about the anatomy of the mind. I want you to remember what you've just shared. Do you all get what happened here? Mars?
I get it. Kitty's oversexed because of a childhood experience involving a man, in this case, her father, and now requires a substitute. Now, the lack of love she received as a child.
It probably has nothing whatever to do with Kitty's being oversexed, but you can be damn sure it has everything to do with my shouting at her, and it possibly has everything to do with Kitty being oversexed. Why did you enroll in the seminar?
Please, I've told you, I enjoy sex too much.
Who says so?
I say so.
No. What tells you the enjoyment of sex is wrong? Anyone? Chaz?
Society.
No, anyone else? Ginny?
Your mind.
Very good, your mind. And what do you do with your mind?
You think.
You think. Thank you, Ginny. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Con, short for conceptual thinking. Responsible for every evil known to mankind. Responsible for napalm babies in Vietnam, wife bashing in Wapping, the fall of the Roman Empire, and Kitty's problem with sex. Is it a problem when you're doing it?
No.
Oh, damn right it is. An experience of a lifetime. Right then along comes Con. And it says, Kitty, this is wrong. The cabinet minister's career will be in ruins. You'll be cited as correspondent. In essence, Con has decided to make the experience bad. An experience is whatever you choose it to be. Get it? Get out of your beliefs. Get out of the clutches of Con. The purpose of the mind is the survival of the being, or whatever the being chooses to be. It therefore limits experience to what the mind deems safe. Your life is not in your own hands. It is in the clutches of Con. Yes, Chaz?
Well, my mind is my own. It exists because I exist.
Wrong. It is a totally separate entity.
Sorry, I don't follow that.
Do you know what the ego is?
What?
No, you don't. Neither did Freud. The ego results from when the being thinks it is the mind.
Sorry,
The purpose of the mind is the survival of the being, right? And the being thinks it is the mind. What, then, is the purpose of the mind?
The survival of the mind.
The survival of the mind! Thank you, Kitty. The mind exists for its own survival, and that includes its Con, its reasonableness, its beliefs. The mind survives by proving itself right.
Max, what I do, I don't think is right.
Yet you do it all the more, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I want you to take as your factor your guilt. Don't resist it, confront it, and by Sunday, I guarantee you, your problem with your promiscuity will vanish. You'll find out what Con's really been up to. I suggest to you, Kitty, that it's been stopping you from knowing men, that you've never known men, that you're incapable of knowing men, because Con has decided to protect you from men. Do you undertake to vanish your disgust by fully re-experiencing it?
Yes.
Good. Then by Sunday, you'll succeed. Thank you, Kitty. Later, we'll be doing a process called the exorcism of Con. You'll melt your thinking brains into experiencing brains. Yes, Malcolm?
If we keep the agreements, are we allowed to ask anything we like in this seminar?
Do you have a specific question, Malcolm?
Are you using the standard brainwashing technique, or is it one entirely of your own devising?
Anne, why did you ask for sick bag earlier?
Because I felt sick, I needed to vomit.
Right. Take the sick bag, go over to Malcolm, and empty the contents over his head.
Pardon?
The sick bag, Anne. Just take it over to Malcolm and empty it over his head.
But there's hardly
Do
any
it
point in-
now!
Look, I really
Shut up,
must
sit down.
protest.
Open the bag, Anne. Empty it over his head.
It's
Do as I
ridiculous.
say! Well?
What do you mean, well? I wasn't sick anyway.
Right! Right! You needed to vomit. We gave you the bag. And bingo, you didn't need to vomit anymore. Thank you, Anne. Terrific! I hope you get that, asshole. It works. Stay with your factor. Don't resist it. And what happens? You ain't got a factor no more.
That's just basic autosuggestion. The brainwashing I'm referring to has nothing to do with that. This whole thing is rigged. Why are the curtains always drawn? Why are we here for 15 hours? Why aren't we allowed to talk to anyone, only to you?
Ah, yes, divide and rule. When I was in the army...
Well, I'll tell you why. Because in the end, there's only one mind, one con man does the thinking. Max Schreiber.
Fine, hand your name tag in and leave.
Be very careful, Max. There are 25 people listening to this. You're playing right into my hand.
Bullshit! I hope you all get that. I'm playing into his hands. Malcolm wants to be Malcolm, right? If Malcolm really was Malcolm, if old Con wasn't plugged into its survival kit, then Malcolm wouldn't have to keep resisting. We've been here for 8 hours, and Malcolm's mind is still telling him to resist experience. The purpose of the mind is its own survival, remember? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Malcolm. So who's the robot now, Malcolm? Go on, hand your name tag in and leave. And before you even say it, I'm going to give you your money back. Common checkbook. See, Malcolm, we don't need your opinions and beliefs here. Assholes who cling to their beliefs have to be dealt with.
Well, what do I have to do to stay?
Don't think about the seminar, Malcolm. Just experience it. And if what you're experiencing is fear of brainwashing, then fine. Take that as your factor, and by Sunday, I guarantee you, it will disappear. Of course, it seems to me to be an awful waste of time to participate in a seminar to eradicate your fear of being brainwashed by a seminar. If I were you, I'd take as your factor that Australian hang-up of yours. Thank you, Malcolm.
They're so bloody confused.
That's great. Max said you were. It's just the whole belief system is being turned upside down.
Fabulous. I want to go up to everyone I meet and share myself. I just love everybody.
Bastards. I wouldn't have come. What are they doing to us? And those zombies.
Oh, don't let them fool you. They want you to react like that.
But, Don, I'm frightened. Do you think they serve Perrier water here?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
I don't know. I didn't think it'd be like this. My dear wife Jean, you know, and my daughter, they get these newfangled ideas. But my problem is that I haven't got any problems. Except perhaps my dear wife Jean.
No. I find the phraseology so phony. Factor, share.
Ah.
Exactly.
Maybe they're right. Let's just experience the seminar. What have we got to lose?
I can't eat a thing. I'm too upset.
No, I'm into Eastern philosophy. What do you do?
I work for the LEB.
Oh. How about you?
I'm everything. Ex-dancer, actress. I hated it. Then I worked for Cosmos as a courier in Milan. And then I was a mature student at Kingston Poly.
Maybe that's your problem.
You don't need this.
How do you know?
You seem to be a very stable person.
I didn't know you better. I'd say that sounded like a lie.
You don't know me better.
What do you do?
I'm a bank manager with the Nat General.
Oh, whereabouts?
In Market. Just outside London. And you?
Advertising, wouldn't you know?
Oh. How you said fashion.
Oh, that's nice. Now I'm bloody married, but I still work.
Cigarette.
Yes. Thank you.
God, I need a drink.
You're breaking an agreement.
Maybe. Isn't it strange?
24 hours ago, we were total strangers, and now... Little bastard. You don't think I'm shallow, do you?
I don't really know you.
Tell me something.
Yes.
You knew the bag was empty, didn't you?
No.
But why were you prepared
Because I would have won.
My first job was in the chorus, a review in Portugal, topless in Gaza.
Have you ever meditated?
The young and gullible, the rich, and the desperate.
In which category do you belong?
Ah. The real question is, who will get sucked in?
Sucked in?
Yeah, once they've got you, they sell you more seminars, provided you introduce more people to the first one.
Pyramid selling.
Yeah.
I was concerned in that, you know.
Allow me.
Oh, thank you. Would you like one?
No, thanks, I don't smoke. My clients invariably do.
You know that problem I was experiencing with men?
In the process?
Yes. Well, you see, I'm experiencing it now with you.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You must think I'm awful.
Think now only of your brain. Keep breathing, but think of your brain. Imagine it floating lightly around your skull. Slowly it turns to jelly. Piece by piece, it turns to jelly. Slithers out of the skull, down the throat, down, down, into the abdomen. Slowly the pieces of jelly form into a yellow-colored light. Light that's brighter and brighter. Glows, shimmers. It is a new brain, an experiencing brain. The light of experience. As your new brain starts to come to life, it emits its own sound. Don't resist it. Let it speak. Let it speak. Remember your fact. The sad sound. Lonesome. Angry. Terrified.
Breathe.
Keep your eyes closed.
Let it out. Breathe. Close your eyes.
Let it grow.
Hello, darling.
Don't you know what time it is?
Sorry, did I wake you?
No, I always walk round the house at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Just have to get it typed up while it's still in my mind.
Didn't you take any notes?
Only a few, they forbid it.
I thought it was supposed to be a seminar.
It is, but they don't want rivals. Bad for business. Don't you want to know what happened?
Don't switch the light on when you come in.
What are you doing?
Nothing, darling. Go to sleep.
You said you'd leave me an apple to eat. Is Daddy back yet?
Yes, he is.
What's he doing?
He's doing some typing in the kitchen.
I haven't had my pocket money yet.
Oh, darling, let's talk about it tomorrow.
What time are you getting up in the morning?
Go back to sleep.
I have to take my pistols on Monday.
are late! You have broken an agreement! Face the traitors! Do you admit that you have broken an agreement?
I have not broken.
Will you please stop shouting? I can't stand anymore!
Sit down! Do you admit that you broke an agreement?
I have not broken an agreement!
If you do not remake your agreement, you will be dismissed from the seminar!
Boom, boom!
So, Malcolm, what's it to be?
I'll remake the agreement.
Good. You may resume your seat. Okay, yesterday Chaz agreed with me that my proof of his existence was entirely dependent on anyone? Anyone remember? 10.
You're experiencing him.
Right. Experience is the ultimate test of reality. Not the mind, but experience. Thank you, Ted. Yes, Malcolm.
I'm experiencing that what you're saying's a lot of crap. What gives me that experience? My mind.
Stand up! Malcolm's mind is telling him I'm talking crap. Is that reality? All three.
No!
Damn right it isn't. That's your reality. Or what your mind has decided is reality.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Get out of your mind, asshole. Your mind can only give you its interpretation of reality. Yes, Jenny?
I would like to share that Malcolm's con is plugged into its own survival kit.
Thank you, Jenny! Con decides what is real, reality, and comes up with defective reality. I'll give you an example of defective reality. We've been thrown out of the hotel, right? So I've organized taxis to take us elsewhere. They're waiting outside. How would you respond? Well, would you believe there were taxis outside?
I suppose so.
Right. Now, suppose I tell you the cabbies are on the work to rule, so I've organized 20 camels to take us elsewhere. Would you believe that?
I believe anything of you.
I get that. But suppose a traffic warden came in and said, "Are you the owner of the P registration camel parked on the double yellow line outside?" Would you believe that?
Well, of course I bloody well
Believe
wouldn't.
the taxis.
Well, yes.
Why the taxis, not the camels?
Well, because it's perfectly reasonable.
Sorry, what was that word?
Reasonable.
Right! Now, I could be lying about the taxis.
Yes.
Just as I was about the camels.
Yes.
And you're still no nearer knowing what's parked on the double yellow line.
Well, no.
That's how far reasonableness gets you, Malcolm. All beliefs, all defective reality. Belief is not knowing what's parked on the double yellow line. Thank you, Malcolm. Yes, Don?
Look, I'm a reasonable
Oh,
chap.
really? Is that right? Very good.
Unfortunate choice, but, well, you've got to have beliefs to help you determine reality. I mean, good God, science, metaphysics, mathematics, philosophy, all the greatest thinkers who've ever put pen to paper. We've got to believe something of what they say.
Give me an example, Don.
Well, yes, all right. I'm reading at the moment about Banting and Best, whose discovery of insulin in 1921 terminated diabetes as an incurable disease. I believe that insulin saves lives. I have no direct experience of insulin, nor, I'm thankful to say, of diabetes.
Tell me, Don, you ever heard of iatrogenic disease?
No.
Iatrogenic disease is a disorder produced by medication induced to treat another disease. So, 20 years ago, medical scientists hailed a brilliant new drug called thalidomide. I think you know the results.
Oh, that's hardly fair, is it? I mean, you take the most notorious example of the failure of modern medical research. I mean, there are hundreds of success
Why are they
stories.
successes, Don?
Well, because they work.
Because they work. All philosophers, all politicians, all physicists believe until experience proves them wrong. You ever heard two politicians agree about anything? All beliefs, all defective reality until experience turns them upside down. Experience is the ultimate test of reality. Thank you, Don. Yes, Kitty.
Excuse me, is that a Martian on the blackboard?
Oh, that's a pile of shit called beliefs, and those are your legs sticking out the top of it. Okay. Experience is the ultimate test of reality. What is the ultimate source of experience? Chaz.
physicalness.
Bullshit.
I am experiencing a sore
Stop
posterior
right there.
from sitting on a hard
Who's
chair.
experiencing?
I am experiencing.
Who?
Me.
Right. You create your own experience. You choose to experience something in a particular way. Thank you, Chaz. Yes, Trish.
Look, Max, I do voluntary work for battered wives.
Of course you do, Trish.
Well, we had a woman in last week, 2 fingers chopped off her hand with an axe. Well, guess who was responsible
She
for that?
was.
What?
Okay, so her husband chopped her fingers off,
course
but
he
she was
did.
responsible for creating her experience of it. Was she responsible for marrying her husband?
I suppose
Was
so.
she responsible for being in the house when she was attacked?
No, he'd locked her in.
All her married life
course
she'd been
not, on
locked
that
in.
occasion.
Therefore, she was wholly responsible for being in the house when she was attacked by her husband.
But she didn't chop her fingers off, he did.
No, she did. She went down to the cellar, she got the axe, she gave it to hubby, put her hands on the breadboard and said, "Sock it to me, baby. This is the moment I've been waiting for all my married life."
You're out of your mind, Max.
Sorry, what was that?
I said you're out of your mind,
That's
Max.
just what the Avatar seminar is all about. So what did she say when she came to see you?
Well, she was petrified. We put her in touch with a solicitor.
Yeah, why didn't she go down to the laundromat and say to her chums, "Fred's such a honey. He's so thoughtful. He just chopped my fingers off. He must have known I was sick of my shorthand typing course." Now, your battered wife was wholly responsible for creating her experience as bad.
But it was bad.
Story. 2 couples. One lived in London, 1979. Jealous guy hit his girl over the head with an electric fry pan. She sued. He went to prison. Second couple lived in prehistoric times. Neanderthal guy hit his girl over the head with a pterodactyl's thigh bone. She fluttered her eyelids and whispered, "Your cave or mine." The Neanderthal girl had done the Avatar seminar.
In chilly, chilly, also pepper cats and then a broken by the sea. In chilly, chilly, also pepper cats and then a broken by the sea. I fail to see what this has to do with ultimate reality.
Just create your experience, Mars.
I find it very difficult to create myself as a fool.
Really? You've been doing superbly all your life. We've all got barriers, Mars. This process is designed to remove them. Okay, all 3 together.
One, 2, 3, 4. Tell the people what she wants. She wants.
Jesus, this is rubbish! Are you all this gullible? Can't you see what he's trying to do? My wife does this kind of crap at night school drama classes.
Don't break agreements! Yes, Chaz.
Not a shell. I'm feeling hostile towards Malcolm.
Oh, sit down, you macrobiotic moron!
Okay, Malcolm, we get that you have a problem with this process. Every little boy's got a little girl inside him, so that's why you're gonna let it all out when you do it again. Alone.
Jesus.
Thank you, Malcolm. And Kitty, Melanie.
I am the fastest draw west of the peacocks. My pappy loved me. He was the greatest gunfighter in all Tennessee.
My name is Art, and I am an expert in the truth process. You are now going to do the truth process as explained to you before dinner. First 3, front row right, will now mount the rostrum. Breathe! 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 Breathe deeper, bitch!
Concentrate! Stay in your factor! Breathe!
Confront your factor and breathe! Breathe, all of you!
Breathe!
Hyperventilate, all of you!
Hyperventilate!
Hyperventilate! Don't get off it. Let it all out. Trish.
Stay in your space. Stay in your paper.
Relive it, Trish.
Look, this woman needs medical
Shut up,
attention.
sit down.
You will confront your factor and breathe.
You'll remain there until you learn to do the process properly. Hyperventilate! Ha 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 ha
Carry him back to his chair. Get a sick bag. How about Australia, Malcolm? Get in touch with that experience. Relive it.
Exorcise it, Malcolm.
Get off it, Malcolm!
Don't worry, we're all failures here. Remember, whatever happened to you out there was your creation, Malcolm.
What happened, Malcolm?
How's it feel confronting your own failure? Bet you never wanted to see Australia again.
Australia's to blame, isn't it, Malcolm? Not you.
Anyone but you, Malcolm!
Not nice, is it, asshole? You thought you were over it, didn't you? Just repress it and it'll go away, huh? Well, it won't, Malcolm, because that's not the way it works. Good night, Chaz.
Good night, Chaz.
Good night,
Sleep
Malcolm.
tight.
Good night, Jenny. Have a good night.
Good night, Hop. Good night. Good night, Viv.
No, no.
Good night.
Good night, Viv.
Take care, eh?
Good night, Mel.
Sleep well, okay?
Good night, Mel.
You were great.
Bye, Ted.
Good night.
Down, you were fantastic.
Really right on.
Good night. Sleep well, Don.
Hey, Don.
Sleep well.
Good night, eh? Take care. Have a good
Don.
night's sleep.
Good night.
Good night, Ted.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good day today.
Bye, Ted. Take care, eh? Good night.
Ooh, I gotta kiss you once.
Oh, you're so cute. Good night.
Good night,
Bye,
Sal.
Sally.
Good night, Sal.
Goodbye. Take care.
Take care of yourself.
Goodbye. Now, don't you
night,
do
Sally.
anything I wouldn't do. Don't you do that.
Good night, David. Sleep well.
Is anybody sitting next to the person they sat next to at yesterday's seminar? Whoopee!
Okay. Later today, we'll have an opportunity to share our experience of last night's truth process. Right now, I want to talk about the anatomy of the mind. So the mind is a manic DJ on cerebral radio playing its discs in order to survive. Wake up, Morris! There are millions of discs stacked up there in your head. So that's why old manic mind keeps telling you to resist experience. It hasn't got a disc to play. So when I shout, Kitty! Kitty's daddy discs start to play. She's petrified. She's right back there in the room with her father throwing coal at her. Kitty, your father has become all men. Your promiscuity is just your childhood discs telling you to avoid relationships in order to survive. Yes, Mallory?
Are you telling us that the mind dictates our responses, that we have no freedom of choice?
Absolutely right. Mind dials its discs quite mechanically, quite automatically, spreading its evil like cancer. Everything you've ever experienced, be it joy or happiness, becomes associated by the mind with fear and threat to survival. You've all been frightened gutless by my trainers this weekend, right? Do any of you know why? Anyway, look at them closely. What do they resemble? Well? Mars?
Zombies.
Kitty?
Robots.
Chaz?
Machines?
Thank you, Chaz. Machines. The mirror image of you yourselves. That's all you are. Machines. 180 pounds to be told you're just machines. How does it feel? Kitty.
I'd like to share that I feel utterly depressed.
Then we might just as well pack up and go home.
Yep, that's right. Nothing more to get, is there? Now you're just machines.
But then what have all these 3 days been in aid of? I mean, why the lectures? Why the insults? Why that bloody horrendous truth process last night? I mean, what is the point of sticking around to share our experience of it? Oh, I'm pissed off!
Chaz.
Max, you said that if we relive an experience, it destroys the discs that makes us machines.
Mere handful, Chaz. There are millions of them.
But the factor that we chose to relive last night, we should have disappeared it, shouldn't we?
Possibly. We'll soon see.
Then if we accept that whatever we do, we are still machines, if we don't resist it...
That's right, Chaz. Enlightenment is knowing you're a machine.
That I can create my parents as anything I want them to be. I'm going to create them as people I love. I'm going to create them as Viv and Max.
No doubt about that one, eh, Viv? Okay. Done.
This is going to be very difficult for me. I took as my factor my problem with my mistress at my bank. I'm afraid I lied to you. I don't have any mistress. I don't have any wife. I don't have any children. Oh, there is someone there, certainly, at my bank, but... He joined us about 4 years ago. A clerk, grade 3. He was good at his job. Ambitious, certainly. And after about a couple of years, a vacancy occurred for a manager's clerk. The regional office was sending me a graduate, but, well, a word in the area manager's ear, and Michael got it. I felt at the time that he deserved it. But now he's been angling for a branch accountancy. It would certainly mean a transfer to another town, and something I don't think I could bear. Quite apart from being promotion over my other clerk, who's held the position longer, and anyway, I don't think he's ready. He's accusing me of holding him back, starting to imply that because of this transfer thing, how bad it would be if certain people got to know. Michael has a malicious streak. He has mentioned the press. Oh, I don't think he would. He's got too much to lose himself, but he's certainly not above blackmail in one way, shape, or form. So far, I've done nothing wrong. Normally, I'd have nothing to fear. I certainly haven't abused my position with regard to his promotion. But the problem is, there are certain areas in life where you aren't allowed to be different. Oh, law's fine. 2 consenting males and all that, but no amount of legislation can alter public opinion. I work 15 miles from London. The attitudes belong in a different century. A look comes over people's faces. Over some of yours now. Don's unnatural. So I live in fear. Every time a local businessman transfers his account, my spine goes cold. I feel sure that I've been seen. I heard a rumor. I'd be demoted, discreetly transferred. The best eased out. When everything you've worked for all your life is threatened, you start to think of desperate measures to remove the source of that threat. I could take the easy way out and recommend Michael for his promotion. This weekend, I've decided not to take the easy way out and not to resort to desperate measures. The other chap is ready for the job, and I shall recommend him. What Michael will do, I don't know.
Thank you, man.
Oh, wow. I feel really great. I feel like a new man. I don't think anything's changed in me, but I feel fantastic, refreshed. Is that all right? I mean, I'm just the same, eternally bloody Randy, but I feel wonderful about it. Terrific. I know I attract men, and no, I just don't feel guilty about it. Tomorrow, You know, I don't think I'll care if I feel guilty tomorrow. I mean, if I feel guilty, I just won't care about it, and that's not feeling guilty, is it? You see, I'm fickle. I'm just a mediocrity struggling to be profound. If I'm faced with Sylvia Plath or the New Mailer, I somehow end up with an autobiography of Lauren Bacall. My ex was a publisher. He used to ask his colleagues around for literary evenings. I used to read up Roget's Thesaurus and the Loo and find I get away with murder. I never understood a word I said. They seem to, though. Do you know, I think the sole purpose for my coming on this seminar was for the luxury of talking about myself for 3 days. Oh, I was most anxious to become less promiscuous. But at the same time, I was quite desperate to take Don to bed by Sunday. I am shallow. An hour ago, I was weeping my eyes out. And look at me now. The Pursuit of Happiness. Who wrote that? Well, my idea of a happy marriage is when monogamy is grounds for divorce.
Great stuff.
Malcolm.
Well, the thing that happened in Australia, you may as well know. I tried to kill myself. Do you remember those posters dotted round London a few years ago? In Australia, I will teach in the sun. Well, my wife and I decided to give it a try. I'm a journalist in Fleet Street, and the competition was getting me down, and so we decided to emigrate. Well, perhaps I'm sensitive to brainwashing. Certainly their PR is effective. Land of sunshine and golden opportunities, white beaches, private swimming pools, sun-bronzed children reading Henry Lawson under the shade of a jacaranda tree. Well, when we got to Melbourne, it was winter, freezing cold, raining with a force 9 gale direct from the South Pole. Our taxi drove us through sprawling suburbs of grey asbestos-roofed bungalows, dropping us finally at our weatherboard semi at Brighton Beach, where the water's polluted by sewerage dumped into the surf. As the months went by, I began to notice what Australia really was. There's no identity, no culture, no soul. I think I went insane. I began to imagine that I would never see England again. We were starving ourselves to save in order to return. Well, no way. With 4 of us, it would take years. Seemed like a prison sentence. How do you begin to describe the desire to kill yourself? Quite logically, I thought that death was preferable to life. One day I resolved to do it. I drove the kids to school. And then, instead of going into the office, I drove 20 miles south of Frankston. I'd settled on drowning. The water was very cold. And I remember thinking, I'll get cramped soon and go under. It seemed beautiful. The end. I don't know what made me turn round and swim back. I regretted it. And the only thing that kept me going during the next few months was the thought that one day I might see England again. I kept telling myself, just get through today. But I'm permanently scarred now, and under even greater pressure to succeed. I put my wife and children through agony out there. I owe it to them to make a living. So, you see, Max, I came to expose Avatar. A hot story. And now it just doesn't seem to make any sense anymore.
Stand up, Malcolm. Face me. Okay, Malcolm. We get that it doesn't make any sense. But that's mind. What are you experiencing?
I feel clearer. I feel as if I know what I want to do. My life belongs to me, not my wife, not my kids. I am responsible for my life. I don't have to succeed anymore, churning out copy after copy to meet your deadline, haunting the right pubs, into the stab, nothing doing, into the Cross Keys, bailiff from the Chronicle, buy him a pink gin, new angle on police corruption. 2 weeks later, there's your copy written by somebody else. I feel marvelous. I might fly to the Canaries. I might even have an affair. My God, what a shock she'd get. Oh, Max!
You got it, Malcolm! You got it! Been a thorn in my flesh for 3 days. And now we love one another.
Yes.
Boy, what a trainer you'd make.
I'm definitely being. I'm experiencing. Isn't it wonderful, everybody? I've come through. I'm enlightened. Wait a moment. Aren't we supposed to observe our experience? Disappear it? Well, I just did. Do not cause my laughter. The Avatar seminar, its bogus processes, your naivety, and the final realization that you have all been took. My son left home a year ago. He'd been offered a place at Cambridge. He was over the moon about it. One weekend, he came down to London, and when he returned home, he was a different person. Timothy Jarvis. My son, Max, I think you know him. He never went to Cambridge. He came down here to join the organization. He wrote to me just once. I'm working in a wimpy bar, he said, to help pay my tuition as a trainer. I'm very happy, and I'm continuing to grow as a person. Last week, I introduced 6 new people to the seminar. Doesn't end here. Enlightenment is elusive. You'll be sold more seminars at a price. I don't know where my son is now. Someone told me that he joined a religious sect somewhere in California. Shaved his head. He's thrown his life away. I've got you, Malcolm. You wore yourself down by your own resistance. The drawn curtains, the long hours, the Nazi tactics. Oh, you spotted it, but you held nothing in reserve. That's why you were forced to participate, to exhaust you into accepting the garbage. You're a patsy, Malcolm. And now they've got you. Avatar exists for the survival of Max Schreiber, or whatever Max Schreiber believes himself to be.
would like to share my sorrow that Melanie has not come through.
It is a happy brain, an enlightened brain. Slowly, as the light gets brighter, it begins to make its own sound. The happy sound, an enlightened sound. Good. Keep your eyes closed. Let it crescendo. Start melting your brain now. As it does so, the sound gradually fades away. When it does so, you may open your eyes. Let it fade in its own time. The seminar is nearing its completion. Thank you for creating me in your universe.
My presentation must reflect my own enlightenment. The indications of enlightenment are: 1. Upright posture. 2. Voice confident, energized with volume. 3. Eyes wide and sparkling. 4. Gestures direct and dynamic. To increase my own sense of fulfillment, I dedicate myself to the expansion of Avatar by communicating my experience to others.